Although this opens up a lot more opportunity for Kaluch. Now, how many of you guys would have seen Winston jumping top left and been like, and boosted after him and just try to light him up? Go ahead, admit it. You would have done it, right? Why didn't he do it? For those who don't know, Hawk has been in the Overwatch League for quite some time, initially starting off with the Atlanta Reign, and has been with the Atlanta Reign for quite some time. Generally regarded by the pundits that matter, me, I think the best Western tank since Super, and the best Western tank since Super has retired. A long-standing off-tank player that has found the capability to flex onto a lot of the more traditional main tank characters and also play them relatively well. He had a tough season with Atlanta Reign recently, basically being benched by a Winston OTP, Ball OTP. But I do think that Hawk is a phenomenal tank player, a great communicator, a really smart guy. And I think he's a really, really, really good tank player overall. I think definitely the best tank in North America / Europe at all of the tanks overall. I think that Hawk is really, really good at shot calling. You talk about like a lot of what Hottie provides value as a tank, right? You know, Hottie, not the most flexible tank ever, but very good at the push-pull, very good at shot calling, great leadership, great communication. And I think Hawk is somebody that provides that level of value as well. Get ready, chat. Get ready. Get ready. Gotta love it. Look at that. Notice that like crucially here. So I want you guys to look at this. He's fishing for backline. He's fishing for squishies. Like when you're playing Junkerqueen here, you need to be thinking about like, how can I actually access that backline? Like what, using your positioning and your gun, and crucially your Gracie to set up push engages. Not even just necessarily to get kills, but just to force cooldowns. So like, look at this here. He hits this Gracie here. If there's just a little bit more follow-up there from his DPS, he'll probably force his Reaper Wraith out. And using Gracie to force a defensive cooldown is so good. It's so good. It's just a cooldown, you throw it, you force a cooldown. It's amazing. So he's going to get hard focused by Maywall, by Reaper. And you might have had this happen in your Junkerqueen game. So his job is just to immediately shout out, disengage, run away, live. Good news, though, is that that's their power punch. That's basically their spike in value. So then as he uses his cooldowns back, he's going to be able to generate back some of that HP. And he's not in a really rush to force the brawl here, right? He's got a pretty decent gun. If he sees an opportunity, he'll go for it. There's the chop. That's going to get ice blocked, but he also hits the Reaper. Trading Carnage for ice block and hitting a target is good cooldown value. The unfortunate thing, like I said here, is there's just not enough pressure from his Lucio. So I really, like as I said, as I've already reviewed this match before, I feel that Hawk played this matchup well. I think Vega did not play it as well. That being said, this compositional matchup is tough because once they go Reaper, May, Moira, it is really easy for them to be able to focus you down on Maywall. So he's going to swap. Early shield. Now I want you guys to check this out. This guy doesn't just play Junkerqueen well and Diva well and Zarya well, and this guy plays everything well. Check this out. So he's going to drop the angle. By the way, sorry for the screen tearing. That's VLC. I don't know why it does that. Check this out. So he sees Reaper May pushing in. He drops shield and he drops a Vortex right on top of that May. They're so thirsty for that Ramattra kill. They're so thirsty for that tank kill. But look at this tank HP. Look at the shield HP. It's not going anywhere. Vortex, then pressure on Sam. Sam is now really low. So that's a ton of resources that are going to be dumped in. And Sam actually dies. So he's still kind of playing the same way, where he's looking to push. He's not rushing his Nemesis form immediately, but he's kind of utilizing his resources to survive pressure and then punch back afterwards. So right there, his Vortex is down, his shield is down. Here comes the Nemesis form immediately afterwards. Perfect cooldown value right there. Now they use an ultimate in response, so what does he have to do? He has to do the Ramattra thing. I mean, come on, guys. That's disgusting. Perfectly timed. So he goes to the backline. They pop back with Coalescence. He holds, and he holds, and he holds. Immediately turns his head around so he doesn't get headshot, drops shield on the floor, then shield dances with his Vortex to avoid the damage from the backline. If he makes even a single error, he dies there. And again, you're noticing how look, guys. Hawk has a 1000 HP shield and all this armor, and look at how disciplined this guy plays around cover. Look how disciplined this guy plays around cover, right? He refuses to take unnecessary damage. And what that means is that so many of his healers' resources can go into doing aggressive offensive things. Because even though he could demand a lot of healing resource, he doesn't. He doesn't. Doesn't mean that he plays passive. He plays very aggressive when it's necessary. But he doesn't just stand in the open and take unnecessary damage. So the Ramattra pushes him. He does not want to lose a lot of HP to Ramattra's gun. So he's going to use his shield. And because of that nasty old shield, the enemy Ramattra is going to push his Nemesis form. He pushes Nemesis form in response. And you see this here, chat. You know where this backline's going, right? They're going to go back into cover, so watch. There's the Vortex, right on that rotation. So as they're walking, everybody takes, look at how much damage they took in that rotation right there because of that Vortex. So when they're pushing him, he vortexes them. When they want to walk to him, he vortexes them so they can't walk to him. When they walk away, he vortexes them so they can't walk away. Even here, I have no idea what the shield from Kaluj was at all. I was very unimpressed with Kaluj's shields this match. But like, look at this. Still not shielding, 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 still not shielding. There's not enough burst damage coming in yet. Here comes the shield. Bam. And not only is the shield blocking damage now, but now he's actually utilizing that shield to go for backline. Notice that he's not even going for the Ramattra now, but he's actually going to shield, and I guarantee you're going to see a Vortex right here. Now, chat, you could see it, right? If you shield this so that you could do damage for free, and you Vortex this right here, what are you going to see here? It can be an amp, orb, fade, ice block, something. Something's going to happen, most likely. And there it is, right? There's the fade, there's the amp. And now he doesn't even worry about the main anymore. He's already forced this chaos. I mean, look at the Moira. Moira's over here. Lucio Meo's over here. Big nasty split from blue, right? And so what does he do? He's like, okay, well then fine. I'm gonna go back. Now I'm gonna focus on Kaluj. So he's forced this ugly split. Then he focused on tank because he knows he can't chase this split out. And now he's just using his ult to just live. Now he's just using his Nemesis form to live. Notice that he's always making sure that when he's blocking towards the source of the highest damage as well. Very easy here to trade blocks and punches with the Ramattra, but that Reaper is the real concern. That Reaper is the real, not only is that the guy that can actually die, but you can actually die to him, right? So he's making sure he's not even blocking Ramattra as much. He's more worried about that Reaper. There's the beat, so he's going to push back in. Again, notice the shield, not shielding immediately, waiting for him to utilize shield, then utilizing the shield for free damage. And then always hugging cover. Always hugging cover. So unfortunately, Team Blue has just a lot of ultimates, right? But really, really well played. He's being super disciplined, but the reason that he's doing that is because if you look at his composition, he doesn't have a lot of healing resource available. He has a Kiriko Lucio, which means that Kiriko doesn't put out as much consistent or burst healing. Let's just say burst healing as Moira. But Kiriko can take a lot of off angles and do a lot of offensive pressure. So he wants to let his supports focus on helping his DPS take off angles and put out DPS pressure and try to not take so much resource. Have you ever played Reinhardt with the Brigitte Zen? Right? It's kind of like what you're doing there, where you're like, you don't want to sit there and absorb damage. You want to make plays when necessary and try to not take as much damage. Check this out. Check this out. This is so big brain. So big brain. What is, okay, I want you guys, I want to ask you guys, what do you think is happening here? What is Hawk doing? Why does he commit shield here? What's going on? Because this is a brilliant play. Brilliant play. And this is where it's not just, oh, Hawk is making good decisions. I guarantee this is Hawk communication too. Bait, yes. He knows they have Coalescence, Beat, Blizzard. We've only got Ramattra, and we don't even have Kitsune Rush yet. Dude, if this guy gets walled and Blizzarded, I mean, even Suzu might not save him. He might just die. So what he does is he's kind of walking forward here, like, hey, look at me, I'm pushing. And he goes, you know what might make them push? Me wasting my shield. So he goes up here and he's like, I'm gonna use my shield, and look at what he does immediately as he uses his shield. He doesn't even really use it for damage. He uses a little bit for damage and then backs up, going to go wall. But guess what? They fall for it. And then now all he has to do is live. And because they've totally disengaged us. Now, we looked at this from the overhead from the match, the YouTube stream, and all of Team Red just totally disengages Coalescence. And this Coalescence actually, not only does it do nothing, they actually rotate to point for free. Look at this, just hold block, and they actually take point. And look at the HPs, almost totally full. And they just use Coal. I mean, brilliant. And again, I'm telling you, Hawk gets credit for this. Careful. He's kind of in the open, so he uses shield. More pressure. Height, wait, nope, no rush. Then use the ultimate. There's the Blizzard, but everyone's got cooldowns to live in. And see, Hawk is honestly fine because he knows that, hey, I was able to kite out the Blizzard. I'm good. He gets a little bit low, he blocks. And by a little bit low, I'm not talking 150, 200 HP. As soon as he loses his armor, he's a little bit more conservative, right? Because he knows that armor he's gonna lose HP really, really fast if he loses his armor. They don't want to walk out because again, Mei, Symmetra, Moira, they're gonna run you over, right? So he's just gonna be patient. They're gonna wait for point to unlock and take some space from here. Do you notice what he's Chat, look very carefully. Is this flash ops? Yes. What is Hawk doing right here? Of course they're baiting. The whole team is baiting. But what is he doing with his crosshair? You see this? Do you see the posturing from Team Blue? Do you see they started to walk forward? You know what he was about to do? I guarantee you he was ready to vortex. He was waiting for them to turn the corner, instantly vortex. Because the timing of vortex is so important. Because if this team had gone 3-2-1 push to the choke, which I think would have been dumb, but they looked like they were going to. If they amp speed, they could zoom right through your vortex and it does nothing. The timing is so important that you hit the vortex right as they cross the choke. That would have been very unwise to push through a choke like that. But he was ready for it. Now, this is cute. Now, this isn't exactly the most big brain thing ever. This is pretty standard. You know, when you go to point first, Kaluj, there's nothing really Kaluj can do about it. It's not a misplay by Kaluj. It's just, you know, good corner discipline by Hawk. But again, that's something that Hawk has been so good at so far. You gotta love it. And remember this, guys. So remember this, guys. Shooting the tank for free, not peeking the backline. There's shield. Shield is used early. Guys, they have shield. Let's push with our shield. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh, there's a vortex as well. Wait. Go. There's a shield. Takes a lot of space. No damage. Uses the vortex in the backline. He actually gets screwed over by his own May wall. That's a little bit unfortunate. Nemesis for him. Punch them out. And they're gonna get point. They might get point flip off of that. Oh, they don't. Great pushback. Oh, that's right. Because this was really good from both teams. Check out the vortex as well. Catches the Symmetra. It's not just about the enemy Ramattra, guys. Look at this. He's shooting the May and Sim. Ice block forced. He's got a block. Again, he's blocking before he gets to 1 HP. He wants to try and keep that armor up. Even disengages here. RuPaul? I think RuPaul might have just gotten split here. Oh, I forgot about this. Yeah, I felt like ridiculous that RuPaul actually let my boy die here. He just missed shots and reloaded the last. Yeah, that was unfortunate. Poor Hawk. Okay, so, oh yeah, this was a really messy fight. Vortex is to encourage him to go to one side. He's ready for either side. Shield once they commit. Again, he's using cover. He just needs to stall point. There's the beat. He goes in. That vortex was actually not that good. He actually missed it. Even the goats make mistakes. Now, watch this, guys. Watch this. He almost blocks beat with his shield. And I'm talking about a quarter of a second earlier. And maybe just a little bit deeper, he almost blocks sound barrier onto Kaluj. And this is on purpose. I mean, come on, you gotta give points for the attempt, because that is crazy. And notice that he uses the ultimate at the last possible second. The longer he's able to stay in Nemesis form, the more he can stall. So 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stall. Armor refresh, back in Nemesis form. He's going to go in and maybe get a kill. He gets booped out. He needs to keep it active. Notice that he uses the vortex to continue to pursue. And it's perfectly timed. Just enough to catch Hydra. Block, live, block, live. I mean, come on, guys. He's been in Nemesis form since like Moses crossed the Red Sea. That's actually insanity. You ready for the fattest vortex you've ever seen in your life? Oh, instant lamp. Vega misplays here. I remember Vega misplays here. They needed to drop. Vega misplays. There's the shield. They're stalling point. Vortex here is good. It catches. It completely stops their push. And notice that he's ignoring the Ramattra. When he can reach the Symmetra or May, he's ignoring the Ramattra. A lot of Ramattra play is Ram shooting Ram. But whenever they get the opportunity to go past Ram, they're going to do it. So as you see that, immediately pivots. Bam, 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 bam. Oh, the 180. Back to cover. Vortex. A lot of pressure on the enemy Ramattra. Lucio available. Bam. 2 punches to Lucio, instantly dead. That's a crazy shot. That's harder than it looks as well. Ooh, tracking. Gonna meet. And their job is they want to force that ice block immediately. They force the ice block immediately. Now May is vulnerable. And that's important because May has ultimate. So we can actually punish this May now. Nemesis, run. Look at that. Lives. Who's he going to go for next? Ram's low, suffering. Go for the Ram. Bam. Back to point. Vortex kind of misses there, but it doesn't really matter. And that's it. Really, really beautiful. And I wanted to do this one because we're going to watch some Hawk Diva and some Hawk Sigma. But let's talk about this matchup really quick here. So Hawk's job, the reason they go D.Va here is like, oh, you can Matrix Echo and you can Matrix Shots and you can dive backline. But then if you're diving backline, why would you not go a character like Winston or something like that? So what D.Va does is one of the unique things on Escort is that cart and high ground are sometimes very far apart. So if you want to fight for high ground, that's great. But you can also just live and push cart. And D.Va is really good at just living and matrixing and living and matrixing and living and matrixing. And then when things get hot, flying away. So what D.Va does is she can either dive, she can peel, she can mark. In other words, she can kind of like go and pressure an off angle and threaten them to save her team. Or she could just sit in cart and push cart, push cart, push cart, push cart, push cart. And then at some point later on, dive. So the thing with Hawk is he needs to take as little damage as possible, find opportunities to dive and push cart. Bronze gameplay indeed. There's a good nade onto Kaluj. And you're wondering like, yo, all these headshots. That's a huge eat on nade. Did you guys catch that? This is just Team Blue needs to be, or Team Red, excuse me, needs to be a lot smarter about this because Hawk can't leave cart to dive just immediately because that would mean that he's going to, basically, if they don't get pressure off of that dive, he could get slapped, he could get naded, and he could get killed. So he needs to worry about pushing cart. That's his priority right now. So it's really, these guys need to be playing a lot more patiently. He's trying to avoid, and again, you notice that like he's trying to not peek everybody. He's trying to peek like one person at a time. If he peeks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, he might die. So he's trying to limit the number of people that can shoot him. Goes back to cart. He's taking some damage. He needs to hide. This is too much damage right here. This is too much damage. He needs to matrix and get to cover. There it is. Can RuPaul see him? Yes. Oh, whoa. Oh, I remember this. He almost catches him off guard. So this is a notoriously, I mean, you guys, even in rank, this is a miserable point to break. So sometimes you will see players go for crazy plays just to see if they can make something happen. Because even if you die, if you get a kill, you have closer respawns. So check this little play out. I think that they called a nade here and they missed the nade, but I'm not sure. Regardless here, he's out here. Watch this. He boosters around and totally catches OG with his pants down. And he almost kills OG. Huge nade from Ultraviolet and a body block from Kaluj. But they got so close to getting that kill. If he grabs that nade there, I think they actually win that fight. The problem with eating nade is you're looking at the target that you're shooting, but then in the corner of your eye, you also have to either anticipate or watch the Ana out of the corner of your eye. Like D.Va is one of those weird characters where you're looking at one target and sometimes you're actually shooting another. Like I'm not even looking at the target that I'm shooting sometimes. This is just Hydran popping off and Hawk gets demeched. It's so hard because you look at this and you're like, why didn't he not fly to contest the Genji? Because flying and contesting the Genji would mean the Widow and the Ana and D.Va can shoot him. So again, he's trying to like selectively choose who can and who cannot shoot him. It's very difficult. He gets close enough. He gets a pincer. He has his bomb. He forces him to rotate out. Really nice little play there. Sugar Free also on the flank at the same time. There's the Ana. The rally feels too good. Not a bad play. Nano Blade was used. Rally was used. It's a fine fight. Rally push. He's trying to wrap around and catch. There's nothing to catch. They force the rotation. They get the high ground. Now this is crazy. This is crazy. Now I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This takes gonads. All right, I'm just gonna say it. This takes some serious guts. I'm not gonna lie, because you just used rally and they kited out your rally. People just don't do this in the Overwatch League very much, or in contenders. They don't just throw bombs because people's cover usage is too good and people's positioning is too good. It just doesn't work. They kited out the rally. He sees Ultraviolet and says, you know what? This guy's kind of exposed. And he just throws it. Usually they use bomb for remake. You know, you go on for an aggressive play, you remake with your bomb and so on. But he sees Ultraviolet and he's like, oh, this is going to work. And it does. And I cannot tell you guys how important that fight, that is a game-winning bomb. Game-winning bomb. If they do not hit that bomb, they do not win this series. Ultraviolet was stuck right here. He kited the rally, and he's stuck right here. And because they're still pushing from here, there's not really anywhere he can go. It's actually just ridiculously big brain. Even if he'd wrapped around this way, he would have died to RuPaul in the rallying brick. There was nowhere to go. So Hydran kills RuPaul, but This fight only remains even close to being winnable because of that bomb right there. Patience, push cart, push cart, push cart. He knows he's down his on. He's got to be super careful. Whenever D.Va takes more damage, loses this because they're only break healing right now. Widow in the high ground, got to avoid the Widow. He thought about diving, chose against it. Shooting Genji because it's only Genji now. Goes for Brig. Where's Widow? Where's Widow? Where's Widow? Where's Widow? There's the dive. D.Va's low. Can we get her? 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 Full on a pocket now, which opens up the Brigade to kill. There's the D-Mech. He's going to get to cover. He's safe. He's got to get that Widow. Widow's exposed. Widow drops. He turns back on the D.Va. Now he needs to make sure that Ana and Widow don't clutch it. So he's going to immediately turn back around. Stay on the Ana. Sit on her face. It's weird. It's some of the most boring tank play that you'll see. But it's almost like ADHD boring tank play, where it's like you're constantly like A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C, back, 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 back. You know what I'm saying? D.Va, 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 D.Va. Now, he needs to be careful here. Now, okay, you guys want to see something sexy? Okay, no. If you guys want to see something sexy, check this out. Mirror infrasights. Mirror infrasights. He knows where Widow is. And he knows that his Widow controls this sight line right here. So Kaluj is out of position because he knows that these guys will not peek his Widow. So Kaluj is not going to get healed. So Hawk stands out in the open because he knows the Widow won't be shooting. And so he can ego Kaluj. You see it? And he almost gets the D-Mech. I know it's such a weird, tiny little detail there, but why is Hawk so egoed on the D.Va? Because he knows the D.Va is by herself because of his Widow's infrasights. Now he has bomb here. What's he going to do with it? Is he going to go for a play up on high ground? Again, look at both D.Vas trying to LOS the enemy backline. I mean, this is kind of funny, right? But they're trying to not peek the enemy backline. Hawk, however, is staged for backline. And not only Hawk, but I think Sugar Free should be up here as well. Yep, see it? And he has bomb for this. So he's going to try to force either that nano defensively, the rally defensively. Bang. D.Va goes high ground. Nade is used defensively. So you're like, well, what was the point of that? Well, it isolated Kaluj. Force nade. He goes for it again. Now there's no nade. And now, because the backline was a little bit distracted from the last dive, he gets the boop. Plus the Kitsune rush. Huge. That being said, card's still moving. Vega's smoking the dank kush and popping off. Fight's still winnable. Can he win? He can. Now, I called this when we reviewed it live. I hadn't seen this match. I was like, you know, D.Va, you could go Sigma here because the sightlines are more wide open. So having a character that is a little bit more wide open spam centric is better. So he's going to go Sigma here. And I think Sigma's a good swap. The reason why Sigma's good here is, again, is just because wider, more open sightlines. There's more opportunity to get spam. You don't take as much damage. There's not as many high grounds. It's really just the one high ground. D.Va's not a bad choice on first point, but Hawk is a good Sigma, and Hawk thinks it can work, and I think it can work too. So what Sigma needs to do is they need to push and punish cart. Spam high ground, punish cart. Push the cart. When they get to cart to about here, Sigma can walk out because he has his shift and his shield and just completely clear the high ground. Almost like a Reinhardt, right? Like a spammier Reinhardt. And you're noticing he's not even rocking the D.Va. Here's why. This is the reality of the situation. He could rock Kaluj and get him out a little bit faster. Kaluj is a good D.Va player. Kaluj is a great tank player. Kaluj is not going to die to a rock. Kaluj is going to get rocked. He's going to take a little bit extra damage. He's going to fly out. He's going to Matrix. However, let's say you roll the dice and you hit this rock right here. Somebody might die. Somebody might die. There is a chance that somebody might die here. So even if you don't hit it, it's sometimes worth a shot. So at this point in time, this is where I really, really, really want Team Red to go high. You've kited it out. Okay, we need to live this. Maybe we overpush a little bit here. Yeah, I think a little bit of an overpush. Overpush from Team Red. Too much 3-2-1 ego right there. Now, yeah, this is really where Team Red needed to go high ground. I think there was a big missed opportunity. As much as we've been singing Hawk's praises, the macro there was missing. You needed to go high ground once they pushed the cart to the corner. The funny thing is there's still time for them to go top here. You have a Tracer to touch cart. You can have Vega pocket cart from low ground. He's at least shooting high ground. That's good. Forcing those packs. Trying to avoid taking too much damage. Trying to avoid wasting too much shield. It's the balance onto the Ana. That's good. He's holding rock here. He sees D.Va without armor. And you guys are going to notice that. He only rocks D.Va when he sees that she's kind of lowish. Because then you're going to be able to chip her out of her armor and maybe even force a bomb, rally, nano, or a nade. But bam. D.Va's low. There's a follow-up. There's also, I want you to be very careful. Listen to the timing of this rock as well. Listen. You hear that? What just happened? He actually times the rock when the BAP window. Because what's Kaluj going to do with BAP window, right? Matrix, go to cover. If you rock the D.Va and BAP window, she might die. But yeah, it's combo. He saves the rock for BAP window. So then Kaluj gets low. OG panic rallies. He's just trying to live here. Now you can definitely use your rock and whatever you want. Counter flux the blade. Oh my goodness gracious. Woo! You know how hard that is. Let's take a look here. So again, mark heart, deny their off angles, hold space. Don't take too much damage. Don't take too much damage. Don't get naded. Don't take too much damage. Winston swap. We talked already about this 2 days ago, so I'm not going to talk as much about it. Although this opens up a lot more opportunity for Kaluj. Now, how many of you guys would have seen Winston jumping top left and been like, and boosted after him and just try to light him up? Go ahead. Admit it. You would have done it, right? Why didn't he do it? It's not a bad matchup, right? It's a great matchup for D.Va. Marking Winston is great, but why didn't he do it? Control cart. Backline? What about backline? What would have happened? Here's what would have happened. Remember when we were super obsessive about like Hawk chooses who can shoot him and who can't shoot him? Here's a question. Who can shoot Winston right now? Who can shoot Winston right now? See, see, you're not even, no, it's not. It's not 4 people. Where Kaluj jumped, I promise you, maybe Seeker has a small angle on him. Where Kaluj jumped with the setup Red has right now, there's not many people that can shoot him immediately. Maybe Tracer can do a little bit of tickle, but she's too far away. Brig and Kiriko and high ground, don't really have a good angle. They're right behind Hawk, right? So there's not a lot of people that can actually shoot Kaluj right now. So if Hawk goes to go shoot Kaluj, Hawk is great versus Kaluj. Let's say a D.Va counts as 3 people versus a Winston because she just does so much damage. So it's a 3 versus 1. No, it's not. It's Hydran and Sam and Ultraviolet and OG, whatever, versus the quote-unquote 3 people that D.Va provides. So if D.Va flies top, yes, she will do a lot of damage to Winston, but she will get toasted by the Ana, by the Genji, and the Widow. It becomes a 4v1, right? Because the reality is these guys can't shoot him. Now, I promise you, if these guys had been holding this top left, like let's say that there was a Ana Brig up top left and not behind him, then Kaluj would have been fighting. Then D.Va probably would have peeled back because you would have been fighting with your team. But if he turns around, the entirety of blue team can shoot Hawk, and only Hawk can shoot the enemy team. It's not bad to chase a Winston. It's just bad to chase a Winston where you're the only one that can engage. So he waits, and you notice when he engages on the Winston, watch. He waits. He doesn't do it immediately. He waits, he sees a jump. They call, can we push Winston? Can we push Winston? And as he boosters up, do you see it? He gives his team time to start, and they've already, I guarantee they're communicating this to where they're actually going to push the Winston out. So now he can, because he's got Kiriko help, and he's got Winston help. He's got Brigitte help. His Widow has an angle, right? Everybody, he's given his team time to where now it's actually not just D.Va engaging on Kaluj. And even then, once he forces bubble, he goes back to cart. This is high level stuff, guys. Again, there's Winston, waiting for his team to be engaged first. He needs his team to help him, either directly or indirectly. He can handle the Winston by himself if his team is shooting something else. Yeah, he has a lot of cover there too. Why are we playing Kiriko Brig? Yeah, I talked about that 2 days ago. Not a fan. Now, this is an interesting question, guys. So here, again, you can understand the peel back here, right? Because, hey, my entire team can help me, right? But you can also see how much space the backline gets out of that. That's a tricky one. Great kill there. Great kill. No deflect, stays on it. He knows that Widow's going to get armor pack, so he doesn't hard commit. He just needs to live now. He gives up even more space. Huge pulse bomb. He needs to live. He needs to live. He needs to live. He does. A huge pulse. Yeah, that was a very, very, very big pulse. Again, being very cautious about who can shoot him. There's not a lot of poke damage here, but if he takes a Widow headshot, he's down in the dumps. And if he doesn't have to use his boosters to peel a Winston, he's not going to, right? Why would you use your boosters here? He needs to anchor cart. He needs to anchor cart. Look at that matrix. Look at that matrix. He doesn't even have to use his boosters. Just in case he needs it, he has it. Anchor's point. He's trying to make sure that that Ana can't live for free. You see that? He's so scared that if I peel too hard on that Winston Genji, what will that Ana Brig do? What will that Ana Brig do? For the most part, if it is even with the teams, doesn't D.Va trade with Winston much better? So worth giving up the space? It depends. If the advantage that you give the enemy backline by turning away from them and letting them take all the space is so high that it overcompensates for the fact that you can burn Winston, yes, but what will the backline do while I'm burning Winston? Look at the cover. Look at how selective he is with when he peeks or who he peeks. He doesn't really want to mark the Widow too much, or Winston too much, because he wants to be able to contest that Ana Brig. He also wants to be able to contest card. Look at the cover usage here. Like, that has been the theme of Hawk, is the amount of cover usage here. Turning on Winston, utilizing cover, and you notice here that, look at this. He flies back, but when he flies back, look at where he finishes. He doesn't stand in the open. He flies out to cover. The Widow cannot shoot him from here. You see this? So even when he peels, he's thinking cover. So this is where, like, okay, so this is, think about this. Could he chase Winston here? Yes, absolutely. But first off, it's not just cart, right? He has time to give up cart. But Winston is so far away that by the time he got to Winston, how much space would these guys get out of it? At this point in time, he thinks that it's more worth to control backline because I'm already here than it is to fly all the way over there and mark Winston. And it's the right call. And notice he's not even really getting a kill. He's just forcing resources. Remember, it doesn't matter if you're a tank, it doesn't matter if you're a DPS, it doesn't matter if you're a support. Your job in Overwatch 2 is to force resources and live. Don't think that you're entitled that, oh, I'm a tank DPS support. It doesn't matter what role or what hero you're playing. You need help. It is a team game, which means you need to force as many resources as you can without dying, and that's exactly what Hawk is doing here. Turns to the Winston. Winston's one. Forces Primal. Immediately goes back to the backline. Constantly managing his Matrix and his HP. Tracer no re. Winston no Primal. Genji gets caught in the crossfire. And that's it. Yeah. Okay. Any questions, guys? This is Hawk. That was Hawk. I think this was a good opportunity to kind of show a little bit of everything that he does. The Junkerqueen, the Ramattra, the Sigma, the D.Va. And that's just, half the zero pool, right?